Yeah, it's been what? It's been a month since we last recorded.
Yeah, I guess it is now. Yeah, about a
Woo!
month. Yeah, we're like, do we still know what we're doing?
Oh, what do I do? How to record? Udo.
I never knew what I was doing, to be frank. So not much has changed.
Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of everyone's favorite podcast, the Critical Arcade Podcast. I'm your co-host, Nick.
And I'm Dave.
Oh, I've missed it.
I know it's been a while, right?
Yeah. How are you, Dave?
Not too bad. Yourself? How was Christmas and all the family get-togethers and
I mean, it's great. It's great and all, but it's great every year, really.
Yeah, that's what everybody says, right? That compulsory family get-together where it is a lot of fun, but sometimes just lasts a little too long.
Oh yeah, that was definitely the case.
I think that's for most people.
But I mean, grateful for family, grateful for friends.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, I agree.
Being able to go on a holiday, enjoying myself.
Yeah, it is a privilege by all accounts.
No, it was a good break. For those who don't know, we took a month break from making this podcast, which I think was a good thing, although I've definitely missed making this podcast, and it's it's taking some real elbow grease just to get momentum, get back into things.
It's true. It is strange how, especially at the new year, and you've got everything else, and work starts up again, and then trying to get the extra energy to do this again and get in the mindset. It does actually take a toll. But we're here. We're doing it.
We're here. We're back.
We're back, yeah.
I'm glad we managed to make episodes while we were making episodes to fill this gap. I think we missed 2 separate weeks in the middle of this break.
Yeah, it was too. Yeah. But that was a good idea, and we'll keep doing that so we won't miss any. I don't think we'll miss any next year, right? If we do it properly.
What do you mean, this year?
Yeah, this year, sorry. Yeah.
No, I don't think if we do it properly, which we're going to.
Yeah.
Which is what we're busy doing as professional podcasters.
Of course.
Then no, we're not going to miss any more weeks. Well, we intend to not miss any more weeks.
Anyway, we digress. What's the game today?
This week, we are playing Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, a game released for the PSP in 2010, which is intimidating because I've never played a Metal Gear Solid game.
Never played a Metal Gear Solid game. There's like 9 or 10 of them.
Oh, I know. It's just this huge gap in my gaming upbringing.
Well, there's a given to some degree. Some part, I think, what was 1998. I think the first one came out, which you would have been a little boy. So I'll give you some leeway.
Yes,
but you know, Patriot and I don't know, Snake Eater. I don't know what the other ones are called. They've all got really Sons of Liberty. They've always got grand names. They always sound like a James Bond movie. They're always like James Bond movie names.
Which, granted, James Bond sells tickets, so it works.
No, it does. It does. It's one of the very favourite parts for me because I am a James Bond-ish era kid. Granted, I'm not old enough for Sean Connery and Roger Moore, the very originals, but...
Oh, yeah.
No, yeah, I love the names. I love it. It's got that 80s, 90s vibe to them.
I like the newest one. I think, what was that, 2015, 16? The Phantom Pain.
That's right. Yeah, see? It immediately sounds like James Bond. James Bond and the Phantom Pain. No, I love it.
007.
Yeah.
007!
James! Yeah.
It's good stuff.
But of course, a fan of your big fan who made and developed these games.
Ooh, Hideo Kojima, right? This was made by Hideo Kojima while he was still working for Konami, which is, if you know the backstory, it's quite sad.
It is, but he made the right decision though, because Konami were cashing in on his name a bit too much, and so I agree with his move, even though it would have been hard.
Definitely.
Do you?
I mean, they still are almost cashing in. Well, maybe not on his name, but on his creations.
No, 100%. Like, ladies and gents, if you don't know, he actually he fundamentally developed and designed the whole Metal Gear Solid franchise, right?
It's a huge franchise. It's massive.
And he's taken part, I think, in nearly all of them. Like, I don't know about the newest ones. I'm not entirely sure, but I know, especially all the earlier ones, he did the story, the development, and produced it and stuff like that. He is the reason Metal Gear Solid exists. Fundamentally,
very true.
Hands down.
I don't think he was the newest one. Metal Gear Survive.
Yeah, nor do I. I'm not entirely sure.
They made that after he left.
Yeah,
and I'm not entirely sure if he was part of the spin-off game, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
I was wondering that too. The one the one where you controlled the slashes of the sword and stuff, right?
Yes.
I remember the game.
Raiden.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I have no idea, but he's certainly the name of all the good,
for sure,
well-known Metal Gear Solid games.
Definitely. After he made these games for Konami for a number of decades, he left to pursue his new endeavors. He made his own production company called Kojima Productions, and they've just been doing really well.
Yeah, right? And then, of course, what's their famous game that everybody must have heard of by now?
Death Stranding.
Yeah. That was his big first IP, I suppose.
Yeah, and it's good. It's the first one they made, and it's an instant classic, although very divisive.
Yeah, very much so. And they just announced the second one coming out or being in development.
They did.
You noticed that?
They did.
Which is very cool.
That dates this episode.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Anyway, back to Peace Walker.
Yes, Metal Gear Solid. Yeah. Peace Walker, 2010 for the PSP. Sorry, I interrupted you. What were you saying?
No. This is his 7th one. I was just going to say this was Hideo Kojima's 7th. This was his 7th. He actually wasn't planning to do this until he got given the criteria and that it was more compact and on the system, and then he just said, "Oh, damn it, I've got to do this one as well," and so he dived into this game too. He obviously has such a love for Snake and all his people. He just couldn't resist doing this one as well. So this was his 7th. Yeah,
I can totally imagine. I can completely imagine him just these characters. They're all his creation. This entire story, this narrative, it's his. I can understand that he just wants to develop it more.
Yeah, he's like, and he is like a big kid with it. He's also the reason Snake is in Smash Bros. He asked Nintendo again and again that he wanted Snake in Smash.
Really?
He did, yeah. He was friends with the, I don't know if it's the president of Nintendo or the game manufacturer. I don't really know. But he's the one who asked on numerous occasions that he wants Snake to be in Brawl, and it was only, I don't know what version of the game did Snake come in. I can't remember. It wasn't Melee.
That was the, I think it was the 3rd version that released for the Wii, Super Smash Bros. Yes, it was that one.
Yeah.
Brawl.
Yeah, Brawl, that's right.
The big push in marketing was that Sonic joined and that Snake joined.
Yeah, in his cardboard box, right? I remember that. Yeah, and that was Kojima who made that happen, because he just
no way.
You could see he's kind of like a big
That's
kid.
So
cool. He wanted that character facing off against Mario and everything else, which wouldn't?
Man.
And yeah, it's great idea.
I like him even more now.
No, he is quite a guy to look up to. He's kind of cool. At least he seems that way.
So it does definitely seem that way. But this game that he made, it feels like, I don't know if all the Metal Gear Solid games feel like this, but this, I don't know how to say this. It feels like, it almost feels handcrafted by someone with a very big passion for games.
Yes, no doubt. And they all do feel that way. It's I have played the very first ones years and years ago. And it was, again, it was one of those, it was the birthplace of the stealth espionage gameplay, where your game wasn't to shoot everyone and to just get your kill counts. It was to be sneaky, to get past, to trick and
take it slow.
Yeah, and this was, I know Splinter Cell kind of elaborated on it a bit later on, but this was the first stealth genre spy game that came out, and that's why it was so massive. And the first game was also great. And it's always, the story always has such a lot of end of the world-esque things at play. It's never lighthearted.
Every single time.
Yeah, it's so brutal each time, and that's one of the best things about it. Yeah,
this one too. If we can jump into the narrative.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
This game starts off immediately just over the top. I wrote down in my notes 2 words that I think summarizes the feel or the narrative for these games quite well, the atmosphere, and that is melodrama military.
Yeah, 100%. It's like I wrote down here. It's like playing out an episode of 24. You know, the Kiefer Sutherland series where everything's drastic. You got to do it now. Oh no, double cross. You know, everything is always so intense. Like nothing goes like as you'd expect it, or even ever so slightly to plan.
And of course. Of course, you had to talk about 24 because Kiefer Sutherland's the.
Oh, it's true. I actually didn't make that connection, but you're right.
No,
yeah, I didn't. That was just a coincidence. But yes, you're absolutely right. I didn't even spot that. But yeah, it is, and it's one of those. The narrative on these games, and they always are very strong. It's always end of the world, nukes, or saving a country that's being dictatorship or something like that. It's always high level of risk reward type scenarios,
and it's always about the characters.
Yes,
the plot does take its turns, have its beats and twists and stuff, but the characters, they're what carry this forward.
And some of the plot twists, like you said, it's like a telenovela. They're so insane.
It's just one after the other.
It's not like they didn't defuse the bomb. They didn't defuse the bomb, but now there's 19 bombs inside of citizens or something. It's like, whoa! Never saw that coming. What's going on? You just can't see what's happening next in these games.
No, But it's incredible. This game starts off where you're just fighting some of your comrades shirtless in the night on a beach while it's raining.
You don't do your fighting shirtless? I always do all my fighting shirtless. It's the only way to fight.
Right, sorry. I need to take my shirt off.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
The bandana stays.
Of course. You know, we got to Rambo this thing up.
And they're in Costa Rica or someplace.
That's right, it is Costa Rica.
They get approached by a professor and this little girl telling them that their country, Costa Rica, got invaded. And because Costa Rica doesn't have an army, they can't defend themselves, which is a real fact.
Is that really true? They do have an
really true. Costa Rica really doesn't have an army.
Ah, did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to know. It's good to know. I always enjoy learning from games. It's always a good side effect of playing any computer game, learning about certain things.
Yeah, and I was wondering, I mean, how often do things like these just get mentioned in a conversation and we realize, oh, is that true or is that not true?
No, it's true. I agree. Like how much of it, like you say, and a proper decent games like AAA titles, they actually generally do a lot of their due diligence to make sure that they, at least their locations and their facts are semi-true, because it builds the narrative a lot better when it's based upon fact.
I know the Last of Us games, they do take the actual geography of the cities that they're in, these post-apocalyptic cities. I think it's Chicago, I've got no idea, or San Francisco.
Yeah.
They take the real geography of these cities and then create the games around that. So you could actually walk around these places that Joel or Ellie are murdering people in.
Yeah, so you have the proper immersion, because that's basically you're outside if you live in that, you live in San Francisco. I think it's San Francisco, isn't it? Or not? I don't know. I get confused with Event Horizon. Not Event Horizon, damn it. See, I always call it Horizon. Thank you. That was San Francisco.
Yeah, it was.
It had the bridge in it. Sorry, anyway, I digress. Sorry, I'm very bad at it.
God, we keep getting off track. Peace Walker.
But it was one of the funny things. One thing I love, you're watching you're reading and watching the narrative, and it's all high octane. But I love how almost silly the names of people are.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's Boss, and then there's Big Boss, and then there's Hot Cold Man. So Hot Cold Man. I just love, like, they're so silly, and I don't know if he does that on purpose or if it's a translation thing. Of course he
does that on purpose.
But
he does that on purpose.
I just love you're following somebody, or you're chasing someone, a scientist or something. I can't remember who he was, called Hot Cold Man.
Oh yeah,
and Dr. Strangelove. I swear that's.
It's perfect.
I swear that's something real. I love it. It's so silly.
Yes, that's why people love these games. The contrast between what is silly, like a Hot Cold Man, and what is just very melodramatic.
Yeah, and very real and like visceral, because it's nukes or it's death or it's terrorism or hostages. It's a lovely foil to remind you are playing a game, but
is.
The story in this game is pretty high octane stuff, and it's fun all around.
It's almost things that you won't be able to make a movie about.
Yeah,
you're sure you can try, but it's not just gonna. It's almost. It feels like I don't know. I know what I'm trying to say. It just feels very original the way he comes up with these characters and this plots. I think at one point near the end, Snake phones the Pentagon.
Of course he does. He does.
He phones the Pentagon, and the man who answers is in this big monitor room, and he answers and he says Snake, and then Snake says, I can't remember. He says there are nukes heading to the U.S. We need to disengage the nukes heading to the U.S. And then in the Pentagon, in this monitor room, somebody stands up and points a gun to the man on the phone with Snake.
The drama.
The drama. It's overflowing, and it's so good.
And I love that Snake's got like the Pentagon on speed dial 2. Like speed dial 1 is his mum, and speed dial 2 is like the Pentagon just to quickly get through.
His mom on speed dial called Bigger Boss.
Oh yes, the biggest boss. That's right. No, exactly. And another thing that just cracked me up, sorry, just at the beginning, with training, and it's the first bit is the training, which is the tutorial, so the buttons here. And I love that the trainer guy comes over to you, and here's the taser. It can let out 10 million and a half. 10 million and a half volts. Wow.
Whoa,
and it's
10 million.
It's portable as well. What kind of batteries that thing got in it?
Yeah,
and I love.
I love the half. The straightest face.
I know. I love that it wasn't 10 million. We managed to push it to a half.
Yeah, 10 million.
10 million and a half. Yeah, just because some people can withstand 10 million volts. It's that half that just puts them over.
Oh yeah. I mean, you're up against other militaries. You need that.
Yeah,
half.
Exactly. Yeah, no. Jeez, 10 million.
I remember this exact moment. After he said that, he was speaking to your comrades you're combating with, and he said, obviously, we're not really going to tase each other. Please, if you get tased, play the part.
Yeah,
it's true. Hilarious.
Yeah,
that means nothing to the player. You're in a tutorial.
That's right. It is funny.
And then in the tutorial, when you tase, quote unquote, your comrade, he makes a lame and then passes out.
He's a determined soldier. He was doing his job. If he's going to pretend to be tased, he's going to do it properly.
It's good.
It is.
I love it.
It's one of the best features of all the types of Metal Gear Solid games. They do have solid storylines. Bizarre, but the storylines do get you through it. You do want to continue again and again and again to see what's going on.
Yeah. I remember reading a summary for the story, a very objective summary. They talked about having Hot Coldman is the antagonist, obviously.
Yeah.
But there you've also got other antagonists working for Hot Coldman. What's it? Dr. Strangelove?
Yeah, Dr. Strangelove.
And Huey.
That's right.
Huey, the lamest name ever, is reserved for a scientist in a wheelchair that can walk. The wheelchair has legs, not wheels, legs.
Legs, exactly. That's again just Kojima at his best. It's not a wheelchair, it's a walk chair.
It's a leg chair.
Yeah. It's a chair that didn't miss leg day. No, it's bizarre, and like I said, even those little twists are enough just to make you go, "What?
Whoa!
What's going on? What?" Yeah,
it's good. I love it. I wanted to go into the twists, but we won't spoil anything.
You can't spoil it. No, those are the best
parts. We won't spoil anything on this podcast. But it's very twisty.
Oh, every moment is twisty. Anyway, what about visuals? Have you finished with narrative?
So yes, I'm done with narrative. Visuals. When I booted up this game, this came from an era where if you waited long enough on a start screen, you'd get a nice intro video to the game.
That's right.
Did you watch it?
I don't think I did. No.
The visuals in this intro video, of course, it's a video. They can pre-render it and all, but it's very good. It looks very good.
And you were playing the PSP version, or
yes, the PSP version.
PSP, yeah.
Right, they remade this for the PS3, didn't they?
They did, yeah, as the part of the trilogy. There was a trilogy box set you could get that had this game in it.
What?
Yeah, the HD Metal Gear Solid trilogy. It was Peacemaker, Snake Eater, and I can't remember the other one.
Walker, this one then.
Yeah, yeah. There's three of them. They did remake.
Oh
it for
wow!
PlayStation 3.
I don't know. Yeah. I thought it was just the one game.
No, it's just they remade this. They all tie in, obviously.
Yes.
Like I said, I won't spoil the but this was the PSP game was put on the trilogy of games that were originally only PlayStation games. They just latched this one on because the PSP game was received so well. This got rave reviews. This is a good game. Anyway, like I say.
Okay.
So visually, the opening sequence, sir.
Yeah, it looks very good. They introduced all of the characters with some HD pre-rendered images of how they all look like, and it looks. I was very surprised that this is a PSP game.
That's
not
what
a
I mean.
Vita game, a PSP game.
I was the same.
Good.
The idea this was just PSP hardware, which I fundamentally is kind of like a PlayStation 2 portable, really. I didn't expect much more. But yeah, no, it actually renders quite nicely. Even soft edges and curves and stuff you see on it, they're actually quite good. I was shocked about how good it came across.
Right. I kept on thinking, how does it look this good? So I started looking at what I thought was making this game look good, and I realized they were quite smart with how they made this game or tried to make this game look good. Where most games think, oh, we need to look good, we need 10 million polygons and animation, and just we need to push the graphical fidelity to the roof, and it needs to be the best.
Yeah.
I think this game was trying a different approach to what I think the original Dark Souls did, was pushing the art style instead of the graphical fidelity.
Yes, okay, I can understand what you mean. Like I said,
right. The beach at the beachfront. If you wanted to push the pure graphics, then you'd make these soldiers look as realistic as possible.
Yeah, and the sea and the sand and all the other things, right?
You can't do that on a PSP. So you get creative. You add rain. You add a shaky camera.
No, you're absolutely right. It's like thinking out the box, but with limited hardware.
Yeah.
Which is, it's quite fun.
And they really did add attention to detail. I was looking in the background, and the waves were actually crashing against the rocks.
No, I saw that too. Another thing, I don't know. I am such a sucker for this as well. The narrative drawings.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I loved that. I love the simplicity of it, but the fact that they're frame by frame movements in it. It's like the old school. Again, I bring up Max Payne. I don't think you originally played the original Max Payne games. They also developed the story in like a comic book style, where each frame of the comic book would be a different scene in the Max Payne story. And this does the same thing, but with that lovely painted, black and white, or
with the original artist for the original Metal Gear, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it is. That's true. It's the exact same for the covers and stuff like that for every one of the games, right? It's beautiful. It reminded me. I don't know. Have you played Disco Elysium yet?
Yes, I have.
That same type arty palette style of drawing. It just reminded me of that, and I'm a sucker for that type of stuff. I love the idea it's super serious and then it stops and then it does this artistic little storytelling bit, which is also, the storytelling part is really high octane and serious as well, but it's so nice to look at whilst they're telling you the story.
It is. That's what I was saying, using these drawings that they made for cutscenes instead of actual rendered animated cutscenes.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
That is a creative move to deal with the limitations of the PSP, and I think it's better. I prefer this. Yeah, it is so good.
We're kind of spoilt with cutscenes and stuff nowadays, I suppose.
Definitely.
But when somebody does something different, it's just so much more refreshing, even if it's like downgraded. Like we said, we've all seen these amazing cutscenes and graphics and hair effect and stuff like that. Just seeing something do a little bit different, be it just black and white or something like that.
Oh, geez, yeah.
It is quite a refreshing, like palette cleanser, so to speak.
That's it. That's definitely it. That's a nice big reason why indies are so great as well. I just finished God of War Ragnarok, and it's obviously it's amazing. It looks incredible. The cutscenes are phenomenal. But then when I get to cutscenes like this, it hits different, but it hits
does.
just as hard.
No, it does, 100%. And and that's the medium of games that we all love and enjoy, that they can actually do that, because it's as good, just different. Which is, that's just a pleasure, doing things like that. Okay, but jump into audio then. What did you think? You're our audio guy.
Right, audio. So, of course, the music for this game is also very good, very nice. They put a huge, just like the other game, they put a huge emphasis on making the audio tell you what is happening in-game. So you need extreme environmental awareness in Metal Gear Solid games. It being a tactical espionage shooter, whatever. You need to be aware, are they alert? Are they hunting you? Are they looking for you? Or do they not think you're there? Whatever. And an easy way for the developers of this game to let you know without hogging, how do I say this? Without hogging real estate on the screen is by using music.
Yes, I agree. And I actually wrote down the exact same thing. The musical score when somebody thinks they saw you, like yellow alert. Compared to red alert, compared to not being alerted at all. That's all done with musical score. You're right. It means it frees up the screen, so you don't have to see bright colors or it literally you just listen for it. Yeah, it's very cool. It's
smart. I know they're far from the first game and the last game to do this. It just it keeps being a smart decision to do that.
No, I agree, and they do it very well. Like even just the intensity between yellow and red alert, so to speak.
Yes,
is amped up to a great. You run away when it's red because now you got to go find a box to climb into or a locker to hide in because you've got a few seconds before they're going to shoot you dead.
Very much. Speaking of being detected. Oh, sorry. Continue.
Now, and it's also the aspect. There's no sound or very little sound. It's all environmental sound whilst playing the game.
Yeah.
Which adds to your degree of sneakiness and everything else that you're trying to do.
For sure. They want you to be sneaky.
You were saying?
They do. I had a big smile on my face. This is the first Metal Gear Solid game I've played. And I grew this big grin when I heard that iconic alert sound.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know how to describe that sound as well. The exclamation mark sound.
We'll put it in post.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good feeling, is it, when you first hear that one?
Yeah, and I was so happy. I forgot to run away.
Do it again. No, it is. It's one of those. It's an iconic gaming sound, isn't it? Much like
sure.
Mario and his rings and Luigi.
Yes.
Mario and his coins. Sorry, and Sonic and his rings. It's an iconic sound. As soon as you hear it, you can reference it straight away. And it is.
You know what it is.
It's very gleeful when you hear it for the first time, and you're like, "Hey, I remember you."
Separately. What I also, I don't know how to say this, on a deeper level, I liked this, but on a very shallow level, this is not good. But because this is Metal Gear Solid, it just works, and that is the overdone voice acting.
Yeah, it is. I understand. It's a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah. That's it.
It works so well for the franchise. But if you took it away from the franchise and you just heard them doing, the voiceovers and the talking, you'd be like,
no.
Why? They're really dramatic all the time.
This sucks.
Why is that? Yeah, but then it's Metal Gear Solid. The whole game's over dramatic all the time. It's got to be.
It totally makes sense. It totally makes sense now.
But I do know what you mean.
Military melodrama.
Yeah, and some of it is so corny, which is both again great. And then if you're out of context, you'd go, whoa, who wrote that? That's so bad. But yeah, I know what you mean. Everything is always, it's almost like 90s gruff. The bad guy's got to be cool.
Yes. Okay. I said this. Oh man, I've gone on record before at the end of last year saying I hate it when the main protagonist has this type of voice. I'm Geralt of Rivia, Marcus Phoenix.
It's Duke Nukem.
Duke Nukem, Solid Snake Boss.
That's right, exactly. It's all the same. They're all the same person.
All the same person.
That's right.
That's my voice.
You need the cigarettes or cigar smoking badass.
But why? Why do all of them sound like this?
I swear it's just to hit the nostalgia for the more grown up players. Because you're right, people under the age of like 20 wouldn't even really get the reference. Whereas, like my age, we had Clint Eastwood.
That's right. That's a good point.
Dirty Harry, and it's always feeling lucky punk. I wonder if it's just to catch that audience. Because I get that the audience, think about that. Say under 30, don't have those role models, so to speak, or not role models, those celebrities, I suppose. You've got all Marvel and all that, other stuff. We grew up with the cowboy and the rogue cop.
Oh man.
Yeah, like I said.
Oh wow! Now that you mention it, I grew up with, let's say, Tony Stark, who is probably one of the most charismatic cinematic figures.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh wow! This is a very good point. I like.
Yes. So it's I'm guessing that. But if you look at it now, I do think it is tailing out, because the demographics now, like 25 to 30-year-olds, and you're right, it's all Tony Stark and
MCU type.
Yeah, exactly. To more funny, more charismatic, more charming compared to the gruff super cop. Yeah. Yeah, you've got the cop who's
cars.
I work by my own rules. Yeah, that type of stuff. But it's fun.
They want to give us an entire mother base for no reason.
Yes, because that's a good deal. Yeah, I know, it's good times. I know, it's funny and silly, but I know.
But
it hits different.
Again, all the even to a degree, even Snake's voice, but all the others in Metal Gear Solid, it just works.
Yeah, it does. It is. It's fun. You've got to experience to enjoy it. Yeah,
it is fun. If at the start you said it was corny, I think at the start you laugh at the corniness, and then somewhere down the line, you never know when it happens, but you've joined in. You've started liking it.
I love that the Puerto Rican girl translation name was Peace, and the other guy goes, "Wow, I'm the same. My name means peace." Ooh.
Yeah, Hideo Kojima.
Yay! I know, it's good.
That's it. It's good. It's fun. It is. Oh, okay, I wrote it down over here. It is. It's very self-aware of its supposed melodrama, and it wears it on its sleeve.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't break the fourth wall, but it knows it's being extreme for extreme's sake, and it is. Yeah,
and it runs
enjoyable
with it.
Yeah, exactly it.
And it's got an audience. Holy shit, does it have an audience? A lot of people love Metal Gear Solid.
Oh yeah, again, like my age and stuff, we grew up with it. Not so much now, like the youngsters now, they've only got... I guess they probably know Snake more in Smash and stuff like that than they actually do.
I can't think of anywhere else Snake features. No, that's it. And besides slot machines.
Yes, that's true, I suppose, yeah. How about gameplay? Because I see that we gave kind of the large discrepancy in our scores in regards to gameplay. I gave it higher than you did.
Much higher. I scored it quite low because I just could not get a grasp of this gameplay. And I don't know if the issue is me. I think the issue is me. But I could not get a hold of this gameplay. It did not gel. And I think that is because the PSP doesn't have a second analog stick.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same thing. It's the weird analog stick and then having to use the other buttons to look up and down and stuff. It's very jarring when you start playing. It is very hard. And I wrote down here, thank God for the aim assist, because like just trying to get the headshots using that was it takes far too long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
use the aim assist as well.
Yeah, of course, you had to. But this is strangely enough. Now, this is, ladies and gents, this is the PSP version. I believe that with the PlayStation 3 version, they've actually, of course, fixed that because yeah, so it must play amazingly better on the PlayStation 3 because of the dual analogs. But yeah, the worst part would be the control configuration for Metal Gear Solid. It's a hard work to get used to it.
Oof, I could not. You asked to on the controller. The default control setup is using the face buttons to look around. So square you would look left, circle.
Yeah, that was
right.
weird. Yeah, that was
what?
weird. That was weird.
And I know it's not their fault. It's just the limitations of the platform they made this for.
Yeah, that's it.
But still, I could not. And attacking with the R button, with the bumper.
Yeah, that did feel weird as well.
That felt weird.
There were 3 different settings for controller. Did you see that? There was shooting, action, and I don't know, sharpshooting or something. I can't remember what they were. And I played around with each one of those, and I found the action one was a lot easier than the shooting one.
Really? Is that the default one?
The default one was the shooting one, yeah, which felt really weird. The action one was less aiming down your scope to shoot and more rapid fire shooting or attacking using the normal choke hold or whatever. That felt a little bit easier, but it wasn't great.
Okay, I did not know that. So I was stuck with the worst controller configuration.
Yes, you were fundamentally. Oh. And I must admit, the tutorial left a bit to be desired. Like, I don't know, the very first bit where they teach you to use a grenade to blow open the gate?
I had to Google how to use a grenade. I could not. I could not figure it out.
Same here. No. I was doing everything to try and throw this grenade. Like, why? It said press L, and it was like, then press this, and I kept doing it, and I was like, no, just keep shooting.
And how? Left, and then square, and then choose grenade, and then if I looked up, Snake was eating rations. What?
No, it was. The tutorial missed, they missed a chunk there. Like how to use items and how to select grenades and stuff, which I also had to look up because I was stuck there for like 6 minutes just trying to get around this bloody gate. I'm glad I wasn't the only one.
Not only that, but at the end of the tutorial, the final bit in the tutorial is when they say, "Oh, let's have a bit of fun because Big Boss is here."
Yeah, that's right.
And then they put you against 3 comrade opponents or whatever. They all salute you and say, "I'm ready, boss."
Yeah, they all just wait for you. That's it.
You take them on. What was I supposed to do there? I could not.
You took one, and you put it in a chokehold. You threw it into the next one, and then you pressed attack again, and you'd finish off with a combo onto the third one.
I swear that's exactly what I did 20 times, and each time the instructor would say, Let's do that again, and then I say, "What? What am I doing wrong? And then eventually he just said, "Good job, Snake or Big Boss," and then it ended, and I don't know what I did. I have no idea. He felt bad because I'm Big Boss, and all of a sudden I can't do the tutorial.
Like, oh, damn, I'm making Big Boss look bad. I got to stop this now.
Here comes Cars. Good job, Big Boss.
Good job, well done. Yeah, no, it was complicated, overly complicated. But yeah, but that said, once you got the hang of the combo system, it was actually kind of good. Because especially like you said, with the limited control scheme that the PSP actually kind of gives you, the idea that you can actually pull off these little combos, that was actually quite enjoyable when you could. That is, when you actually came to the situation to pull those off, those actually worked.
I think this is a case of Killer 7, but flipped, where I clicked with the control scheme.
You did, you did compared to me.
Went quite smoothly, and I enjoyed it quite a lot, whereas you did not.
No, I didn't. I couldn't. It was driving me nuts. But the gameplay thing that really blew me away, which I did not see coming, was the base management system. I
touched on this. Did you do a lot of it?
I did a bit of it, and then I looked in how it expands, and it's big. It's like a separate game big.
What?
Your base management system. You know you get that base, and then you have
of course, mother
research,
base, and then you
research and development,
deploy
and
staff.
That's right. On each mission, you can capture bad guys, and then they're sent off to your base. And when you go back to your base, you have a profile of each bad guy, and each bad guy has a strength and a weakness, i.e., research or demolition or food and stuff like that. And there's a whole management system. You put that there, and the more science people you put in R&D, the faster new weapons would be developed, and the more mechanics you put into the garage, the better cars that would be made or manufactured or brought in. There's a whole system. So you actually want to go back and replay the mission, and you can send your teams off on separate missions, like teams of men to go get separate missions, so you can get more weapons, and it's a whole management sim inside this Metal Gear Solid game.
Okay, this is a PSP game.
Yeah, I was shocked. How does it all fit?
What?
I can't remember what the size of the UMD discs were.
Those
but
tiny
this was
things.
This was crazy. It opens a whole management system thing. So you come back late, after you do another mission, you come back later and you'll notice this has gotten better and this has come in and the mission was failed. Yeah, it was crazy. I was not expecting that at all. I figured we'd have a base.
I briefly touched on this base management side of things, and then I just started with the next mission. I did not think it would be this big.
Yeah, it properly develops, how you can get the latest guns and better weaponry and armor and stuff. It's all around the development of your base. Which I was like, damn, this is 2 games in one, really, because everybody loves a bit of a management sim. I enjoy a management sim.
That's incredible.
It was, and it's. I read that it's even after you complete the main story, it unlocks 100 other scenario missions, which you can play out and capture men for your base and stuff if that's your thing to develop even further. Yeah, it's mad. Absolute. I still can't believe that all fits on a UMD PSP game disc. Yeah.
What would be very cool is if somehow they made a Pokemon Home situation where you would grow this mother base and then transfer this exact mother base to the next Metal Gear Solid game.
No, that would be cool. Yeah, no, I agree what you mean. That would be really cool.
Canonically, a couple of months after this game, Peace Walker, a couple of months is Ground Zeroes.
That's right.
And then it's Coma Time, I think. I can't remember.
Yes, I think so too, yeah.
Coma Time for 10 years. Mm-hmm. And I just imagine Mother Base being... the Mother Base you made on that PSP is part of this huge PlayStation 4 game that you played in 2016.
I do think there's I might not be right, and I'm sure other people out there, there's a slight spoiler. I do believe Mother Base becomes a target for Metal Gear Solid at some point.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure, but I know that this is a prelude. Of course it's the prelude to some of the other games, because it's set in...
Peace Walker game.
Yeah, it's set in 1970 or something, I can't remember what...
1974.
Yeah, so this is a prelude to some of the other ones, and I believe some of the other games have you come back to Mother Base to blow it up. Because I guess some unscrupulous bad guys have taken over or something. I think that's what happens. I don't
want to do that. I've actually connected with
that's right. This is my base. Why would I want to do that?
No.
Okay, but yeah, that blew me away. Any gameplay-wise, I wasn't expecting a management sim type thing inside a Metal Gear Solid game at all. And it's relatively solid. That's kind of cool.
Do you have anything else for gameplay?
No, that's me. That was me. It is what it is. And everything else is normal. Espionage, a bit of ducking and diving, hiding, locker hiding, hilariously climbing into a box. It's all there.
Classic Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
If we're moving on to performance, I think I don't have any comments really for performance.
No.
Besides the one that we just made regarding how big this game is for such a... for the PSP!
Yeah, I still can't get past that. Because I played other PSP games, and none of them were particularly long. I figured that was because of the length of the medium they're put on. And movies were put on them, weren't they, back in the day? You used to be able to get the UMD movies. So, movies would only be 2 hours long, so I presumed that was potentially the load space, a few gigs. I don't actually. Right. I'd be intrigued to know what they actually do hold. But I can't believe how much this holds. I really can't. And like you said, and it's
UMD.
And they haven't lost graphics fidelity or anything. Well, not much. They like you said earlier. How much do they hold?
I just googled. PSP UMD size is 1.8 gigabytes. Not even 2 gig.
That's crazy.
Not
That's
even
mental.
2 gig, and they were able to fit this entire game.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know how. That's really cool. Yeah, I don't know how they do it.
I just had to bump up my score for performance because that is very, 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 very good.
That is cool. Apart from that, like I said, it's especially when you get the console games and like these games, the performance issues are so few and far between because they were always made better back in the day, weren't they? People would shout at Pokemon Violet and Scarlet now being cartridge-based games that are broken. Back in the day, that didn't really happen, did they? I can't remember a Metal Gear Solid game that was ever touted as buggy or a mess or broken or frame rate issues. Which I get
same.
So yeah, performance-wise, apart from what we've already mentioned, not much. It ran fine.
Besides that, I think the same points we said now regarding the performance and how big this game is and how much content there are can be said for value for money.
Yeah, I agree entirely. But like the caveat I'd put here is get the PlayStation 3 version. Get the game, but make sure you get the PS3 one, the collection, over the PSP one. Just because it's a great game and the PlayStation 3 controller will just make it so much better.
Right, the twin stick controls.
And strangely enough, as a PSP game, this game is actually quite expensive. It had a relatively low print run. So I think to buy this secondhand is going to cost you about $20. Where buying the HD trilogy and stuff on PlayStation Store, I think costs you about 10, maybe 15.
Well, there you go. I mean, there's always been a bit of a premium put on the originals and the first prints of games. Yeah, exactly. So I can imagine that would be more expensive than a re-release.
Yeah, and especially like the with the Metal Gear Solid franchise as well, because it's got such a fan base that also increases the price of the original games because everybody wants to own their game of their childhood, so to speak. So yeah, it is worth the money in my opinion.
For sure. And big game, loads of content, and it fits in your pocket.
Yeah, exactly. The idea
if you go with the PSP version,
it's still one of my favorite aspects of the Switch and stuff. The idea that you can game on a plane or on a train or in a. No, I can't rhyme. I was trying to rhyme, but I couldn't go any further.
You were? I was going to say green eggs and ham.
Yeah, that's where I was going. But that's one of my favorite aspects, and the idea that you could play this in the PSP back in the day on a plane, so it would have been very cool because there's so many hours to do it here. So yeah, everybody should get their hands on it. Give it a go. Give it it's a solid experience fundamentally, and it's not too expensive. Yeah,
give it a go. I know PS3 games can't really be played anywhere else but a PS3 or PSP games. But this also came out on the Xbox 360, which means you can play this on your new Series S or X or whatever.
That's true. I didn't think of that. You could.
Any further comments?
Nah, that's about it. It's just a good game. Try it out.
It is a good game. I did not expect this. I know the Metal Gear Solid franchise is good. It's got a big fan base, and I know Hideo Kojima makes great games. But I've always been intimidated by these games.
Yeah, I can understand that because there's so many of them, and do they tie into one another? And the gameplay is. Yeah, I understand that. I can imagine being intimidated.
Massive timeline, and it's just a tiny bit intimidating. But now that I've played one, I can see. It's actually quite silly.
Oh yeah, no, that's true. That is
fun.
When you haven't seen it, that is true. That it is silly. There are a lot of. In most of the other games, there are also tons of silly moments, especially the snake. And there are some glitches in I think Sons of Liberty, which are great little Easter eggs he talks about as well.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what they are, but I know. And most of his games have lots of little Easter eggs in them that are fun to find. I don't know the top of my head. I can't remember them, but there is a lot of childlikeness that he puts into his games that you enjoy.
It reminds me of the contrast you find in the Yakuza series.
Yes, exactly right. No, I agree. That same level of a drama, soapy type, but with absolute bizarre scenarios that you couldn't even make up.
just this huge contrast between the melodrama and well, I mean, in the Yakuza, what's it, Like a Dragon, Yakuza 7 or 8, I think.
Yeah,
it's 8,
one of those. Yeah,
you're outside of the bathhouse you work at, and you run into this man. He wants some diapers to feed his baby.
I know this,
but he can't find it, so you need to go run. And it's just this big silly exchange that's humorous. You step inside to your bathhouse, and you find your boss hung himself. It's jarring. The contrast.
It is bizarre, but they do that quite a lot though. The Japanese and culturally they enjoy doing that combination of extreme seriousness and then extreme just baffling scenarios. They like doing that, the foil of one another.
I can see that in Metal Gear Solid as well.
Yeah, exactly.
When just this knocked out person gets carried to a base in the middle of the ocean with a balloon.
Yeah, I know, the balloon thing's great. But they kept that in the newer one as well.
I saw.
Which is also hilarious. I like attaching balloons to the guys. It's the best part of the game.
Imagine waking up while you're being ballooned to Mother Base. I would just pass out in fear.
It is the greatest part of the games, especially the newer one. I've seen the videos of people who complete the entire level just by connecting balloons to everyone. It's great.
Okay, so that was Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. A very, very enjoyable experience for what is actually a very small platform, the PSP.
Yeah, it was. It's crazy how good it is on such a small little device. Like I said, it was a shocker, and I've played the games before, I unlike yourself, and it's just shocking how good it was. I was genuinely surprised too.
We played this game. We scored Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker with a letter grade rating of B-.
Yeah, which is the same score we gave Borderlands 2. Strangely.
Oh, it is. Oh yeah, classic game.
So yeah, if it's as good as Borderlands 2 and you've played Borderlands 2, then pick this up. You know, it's got the same quality. Let's put it that way.
I guess so. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed my time with this game. Quite nice indeed. Go check it out.
Yeah, next week. Now I know I've got to let you do this one because I know this is the one you've been excited about. So
yes.
Nick, what's the game we're playing next week?
I'm very excited. Next week we've got another entry in our classic Indie 500 series. We are going to be playing and reviewing 2019's River City Girls.
Yeah,
I am very excited. Oh yeah.
Have you ever played any of the old scrolling beaten ups in the past? Like, it's kind of an old genre. What have you played?
Of course, I've played the old scrolling beat 'em ups, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Streets of Rage.
So you have played Streets of Rage and Battletoads.
Of course, I've played Streets of Rage.
Golden Axe. Yeah, I love Golden Axe. Okay,
that was very synchronized. Well done.
So you've also got a history with it, because I was wondering, because of your age, it could have gone by, so to speak. Now I've got a massive history. I love, like I said, the Streets of Rage. I've played all of them, owned all of them at one point. Oh, great games! One of my favorite genres.
Okay.
And River City Girls, lady, it keeps the same retro style as the games that we know and love. So it's go on.
Like we just discussed, this being made by a Japanese studio, it's a beat 'em up. You give a lot of people some broken noses and flying teeth, but you're playing as Japanese schoolgirls.
Of course you are.
Hell yeah!
That's their default hero choice, isn't it? You're always playing Japanese schoolgirls.
It's good. It's just good. I just love it a lot. I'm very excited for River City Girls next week.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Yeah, you got to listen to this one. It's gonna be good.
Tune into the Critical Arcade podcast next week. Let's see here. We now. Oh, this is quite a nice announcement. We have finally gotten ourselves our very own website. Yes. Yeah, we're now big professional, daddy podcasters.
It's exactly. We're just getting better and better. We're up there with PewDiePie and everyone. We're getting there.
Please go ahead and check out criticalarcade.com where you can find our website. It's very much still under construction. But yeah, go check it out, go peruse around. There's nothing there yet, so enjoy.
But yeah, please visit anyway, just so that we can see traffic going towards it. That would be very nice of you.
Numbers.
Thank you.
We need numbers, baby.
We need them. That's it.
With this website, we also got ourselves some emails, so you can go ahead. Don't DM me on Twitter. Twitter's bust. Send me an email, the new form of communication, at nick@criticalarcade.com.
And you can actually send things to me now. I've become far more zen. I don't attack people as much. So you can actually contact me on. Now I forget. Is it Dave?
It is.
Dave at criticalarcade.com.
There we go. Besides these emails, Dave, please tell us where can we follow you?
You can, apart from these emails, you can't follow me anywhere. And if you do try to, be it Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, I do actually have in my possession some of those balloons we were talking about.
Hell
yeah! But I don't have a mother base, so you will just be floating in the sky indefinitely. Yeah,
that is actually very scary.
Yeah, that's a risk.
I actually don't want to do that.
You don't. Nobody don't. That's the point. And listen next week, because it's gonna be a good one. It's just got such the makings of such a good one.
Definitely so. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.